Welcome to A Matter of Pact, a Minions Warmachine Hordes podcast, celebrating strength through diversity. This is Gaston.
And this is Rickard, and we are your hosts for this podcast.
So welcome back. I heard you got over the Polish Crud.
Yeah, I'm sort of in the process of getting over it. I was so happy because I came back from WTC and I was like, yeah, I didn't get the same con credit everybody else got, and then this Wednesday it just hit me. So now I've been on a steady diet of whiskey, tea, and herb liquor.
Did you just want to cut out the tea from that? I mean,
no, it's good.
Just skip straight to the whiskey, the quote-unquote herb liquor.
I mean, I need to have an excuse to eat a lot of honey. It's good for the throat.
Right. You have the best home remedies.
I mean, I guess I could do honey whiskey.
That'd be interesting.
Yep.
It actually sounds pretty good.
Celebrate Crud by drunkenness.
How did you get through being ill? I drank it through it.
Yeah.
Oh, you all are terrifying. It's not even winter for you yet, right?
No. Autumn just hit, and getting darker and overcast, but it's fine. It's a pretty nice autumn.
Cool. Well,
yeah.
So we got some shout-outs to do, particularly from your time at WTC. And one that I really, really enjoyed was apparently Sledger on Hordes was binge listening to this cast, and he picked up that I work a lot and you take a lot of vacations.
Yeah.
Which is 100% true.
Sure. I mean, it seems fair. I actually
no, it doesn't. Screw you.
It actually turns out I'm out of vacation days now. I burnt all my 30 vacation days. No, actually, I have one left. So I'm going to have to get creative around Christmas time. We'll see what happens.
Or just get snowed in.
Yeah. No, I mean, okay, so that's the drawback about Sweden. It's unless you're in the northern parts, we don't get snow days.
See, you'd love DC because we get a sprinkle and people are like, what the hell is that? Oh my. So apparently I just need to step up on my vacations.
Yes, do it. You should come over to Europe sometime.
I need to. I definitely want to. I actually just had to pull out of the Boca Raw because I'm going to have a work trip over it, and I'm like, fuck me. Yeah. So no, I'm going to get over there. I'm going to get over there, and I'm going to not tell my wife that I timed it for a convention.
Nice.
Is the moot still going on?
It is not. You could aim for example, the Battle of Lund instead, which I think about last cast. Pretty good.
Maybe we'll start planning that a year out.
Or we could go to Finland together, have naked sauna, you and me.
Oh my god, that's staying in. I love the growl. Okay, moving on. Yeah, I think you had some shout-outs too from WTC, but they might not want to hear it anymore.
Yeah, WTC was a great event as usual. I met some really cool people, and I probably missed a lot of cool people as well, but shout out to, for example, Delano Hing. We talked a little bit when I was really drunk on Sunday, and the other Swedish crew. And
also shout out to the Masters finalists, Danny McGeehan and Justin Dew. They're actually from my meta, and they kicked ass when they were over there.
Yeah.
So moving on, just some news and announcements. We have a really big announcement, actually. They just dropped that we are going to get a new Croak Lesser Warlock.
Nice.
And they are coming out at Warmachine weekend, which should be November 2nd.
Yep.
So that is coming up fairly quickly, in about a month or so.
Yep.
Depending on the rules hit, it might be worth doing a little delayed cast to incorporate them, because they normally release on the 1st of the month.
Yeah.
So this guy is, if you remember back when they released the game Company of Iron, they had Forge Your Company contest, and a guy made just a gorgeous diorama of his Croak Raider company.
Super impressive.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I believe, based on Facebook, it was Gator Dave. So credit to you if that is accurate, and apologies if it's not. It's Facebook, so you never quite know what you're going to get. So I guess originally the contest was supposed to be an alternate Croak Hunter sculpt from him winning, but they went ahead and they just kind of upgraded it into something fun. And I'm really excited for it. I'm always excited for new releases because they shake things up a little bit. And this guy's supposed to be more like a shaman, and he's supposed to be kind of pear-shaped. I don't know what the millennial word is to do that without offending people.
Chunky.
Chunky. There we go.
I don't know.
He is that which is legally distinct from a slan.
Yep.
So the other things is he's not going to have a companion beast, which will be the first time that Minions actually has a lesser that's not a companion beast, or like a Dalian, Scarith, or Brunn and Lug. All they've said is he has tasty spells and he will not be going through CID, so that's probably going to mean he's either overbalanced or overpowered.
I hope if overpowered myself.
I think overpowered is balanced when it's my stuff. I mean, that's just, I think fair is fair.
Sure.
They owe us for about 7 years anyway.
Yep. Oh, original Razor Boars.
Yes. Oh, God. The original Razor Boars, the current Razor Boars.
Yeah, true.
Those are still awful. And I believe that the Croak is named Mire, which is based on the winning diorama's name. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. So hopefully I'm sharing accurate information. And if not, then no one's going to know in a month anyway.
Yep.
So there's a couple interesting notes and things that come out of this is, first of all, this completely destroys all of my pig dojo for the next month as I just sit and wait. Because I had determined that I was super grumpy about Primal, so I was going to start taking Wrong Eye Snapjaw and Wrastler with like Arcadius and Helga and a bunch of other stuff. Or I can just wait for a month and I can spend like 4 points instead.
Yeah, or 0 points probably.
No. So it's funny you mention that. Theme Forces actually specify non-Lesser Warlock models, so you will be paying for him.
Egods.
Yeah. So we are actually going to have to pony up like 4 to 6 points.
So are you actually hoping for a cheap Lesser Warlock with less utility and power, or like a more expensive one? Would you go for like the 4-point option or the 6-point option?
That depends on if it's like a 6-point option, but he's really worth like 10. Then, you know, if I get Kane Zero with Snipe and minions, not like Snipe, but the minion version of a Kane Zero that's just completely over the top, then I'll pay the 6 points. But if it's something where I just kind of want to spam out Rage a couple times a turn, I'd rather cheaper.
Basically like an Animus bot plus some Fury management.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I guess the other thing someone had mentioned from the devcast was that CCAT pronounced it Pharaoh, not Pharaoh. Which, oops.
Yeah. Guess
I've been wrong.
Yeah. So do you have any hot takes on the abilities of the Croak? I mean, so let's say it's Fury 4. And he's gonna probably want to cast 1 Animus per turn for 2 Fury. What do you think he's gonna do for his other 2 Fury?
Camp.
Okay. So he's
most of them have like an upkeep, because like was it 7-0 upkeeps Eye of Menoth, or I don't know what Kane ended up with. Sorsha, what did she have? Fog of War, maybe.
I don't know about.
Man, my memories. I mean, she has Boundless Charge. She's a Boundless Charge bot.
Boundless Charge. I mean, Kane is Fire for Effect.
Oh yeah, that's what it ended up being.
I mean, he's also got a lot of utility because of his guns. So.
Now that would be interesting if he has just Boundless Charge on his stick.
Is that non-faction? Probably.
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think it's just no. It would be. Yeah, it should be friendly. I'm hoping for Boundless Charge.
That would also actually not make him like super worthwhile with Rask, I think, because Rask would have to pay points for him, which he doesn't want to. Like extra boundless he can only get from the Soul Slave.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's kind of a fair spot.
Okay, so
print it, ship it.
Yep. Matter of Pact, hot take, Boundless Charge on Mire.
There's a 100% chance of this being 100% wrong.
Yep.
So, but I'm really excited because, you know, we went through the Blind Water CID about a year ago. So it's kind of, you know, getting long in the cycle. Things are getting kind of fleshed out, explored, and looking for something to kind of shuffle stuff around, create some new dojo.
Yeah. One thing we should probably prepare before the cast is like, how close are we to actually making a full Croak list?
That depends on whether or not you think Croak trappers exist.
I do. Like,
no, seriously.
I mean, we're not talking about making like a functional tournament Croak list. We're talking about a thematic add like Croaks to stuff and see if we can actually make it work.
I think the big thing is we need swamp trolls.
That would actually be pretty cool.
I don't know what they do anymore because I've never seen them. Which is probably not such a cool thing. But I think the Warbeast is kind of, you need what, a caster and a Warbeast, but you got Hunters, Raiders, Trappers, Quack and Gub. I mean, it's a shame the Croak Hunters ended up the way they are, but, you know, they were warned in CID.
So, yeah, it's Croak Hunters, Quack, Croak Raiders, Croak Trappers. Adding max FA of those is like 51 points, and then we get a little lesser. So, yeah.
I mean, you could easily do a CID cycle and a Croak theme.
Yeah.
And bang out like three or four models and make it happen. And I think if you go back to Widower's Wood, they had some Croaks with alternate stuff.
I never actually touched
them. Well, they had like the Posse with blowguns and axes. And I think they had some Croaks maybe with melee weapons. So I don't know. I mean, there's some places for them to pull in new sculpts that they've already done. So I think it would be a fairly easy lift for them. But they need to address Thornfall Alliance first.
Yeah, I would agree. Waiting for that pig Sid.
Well, between frickin' Azahul kicking ass at WTC and then one of my friends hooked me up with the mini crate Warlord, I guess I'm going to be playing Brigands more now.
Yeah, I mean, Brigands they have good numbers. I feel they're kind of slow right now in the meta. Like, if you don't...
I mean, they're kind of slow and they're kind of easy to kill.
Yeah.
And I kind of suck at making tough rolls.
Yeah, which is bad. You should be better at it.
Yes, I should. I'll practice. So, and then you came up from the Circle CID with some news for Caliban.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was from the Circle CID, actually. This was also like something that Delano told me about on WTC. And there's a pretty bizarre, I wouldn't say corner case, but it's like a channeling nerf, I would say. And it sort of shuts down Caliban during his feat. So there's a rules passage in the War Room rules. I'm not sure if it has been updated or actually clarified in the rules forum, but it reads: remember, the channel is just a relay. Being used to channel a spell is a passive effect that occurs during a spellcaster activation and has no impact on the channel's own activation. So, like, rules as written, you can only channel spells during your own activation. So that's kind of sad for Caliban.
Yeah, there's got to be something around that. Like, it just boggles the mind.
It is. I don't think that this is how it's supposed to be, but as written, I'm 100% sure that's how it works. Somebody actually has forum access, should probably post our rules question.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go hit that on the main boards if I can remember my login. So, and I mean, that's kind of the give and take. It's a very good thing that this is a very pedantic game when it comes to rules, but this can be a very bad thing when it's a very pedantic game when it comes to rules.
Yeah. I mean,
because I can definitely see the argument, but come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like a useless passage anyway. I don't think it needs to be stated at all, unless it's actually for the exact purpose of saying that you can channel during your own activation. So, but we'll see how it pans out. Yep.
So some good news is I do believe that he got Carnivore through the CID with no longer being an RFP.
Yes.
So prepare to see Caliban meet Thresher.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
It is the answer to all your Tharn needs.
Yep. Everybody has tumor guest on. Take the meat Thresher.
It's like a weird 180. I'm still in the Twilight Zone. Like, I know I'm saying it and I know I'm not joking, but I'm just confused.
I mean, Mark III doesn't make any sense to me, so sure, could be.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. It took 5 years for them to get it right, and another year for the meta to shift. It's kind of like a broken clock. The meat Thresher has to be good at least twice a year.
Yeah.
Twice an edition?
Yeah. Maybe once per second edition.
There you go. All right, so did you want to get into your battle reports?
Sure.
For WTC?
Yeah, I can do some just quick batch reps. I don't think I'm going to throw them in very much depth, but...
Well, it also depends, I guess, on how drunk you were.
I wasn't that drunk during the actual games because I'm becoming an old man, and
didn't you last year go in a beer onesie?
Yes, I did, because then I didn't play Warmachine. I was just watch machining and commentating.
I feel like I need that video or that audio.
The videos are absolutely out there because it was recorded at the WTC last year by Clint Rung from the Enter the Crucible crew, and I'm not sure where they're located, but they should be on YouTube, probably.
Okay, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Some more blackmail material.
Yeah, so this is actually pretty fun because I didn't do all the commentating every round. I did a few rounds, and then Hugo was...
you passed out and cried under the table.
I did not pass out, but one round my friend Hugo was commentating, was also on the Swedish Warmachine team, and we had a project going that day. We were going to get drunk on Westflederen, which is like a Belgian really, really strong ale. And we started that project around lunchtime, and he was actually like thrown off from the stream. Like muted by Clint, and people in chat was like, get the drunk French guy off the stream.
Aww.
So that's also out there.
Yeah, we may be posting that.
Yep. Maybe we get the link out somewhere.
Yeah.
So anyway, this year I was playing. I took it kind of easy on the booze. I mean, we went there on Thursday. We got did all the drinks over then, hung over on Friday, and we started playing on Saturday. Pretty sweet. I was playing Rask and Jaga Jaga, and the first round I get picked by a Crux player who was the Snowflake Crux player. I don't know if you heard about him. He was the only guy who brought a Crux list out of theme, which was basically Gatsby 1 and Nis Hunters, and I got to play against it. And I won the reverse list chicken.
Does that mean he did play the Snowflake list, or he did not?
Yes, he did. So, his team captain was talking to him for some time, like looking over my list.
Like, don't do this, don't do this.
No, basically, I think what they came up with, like, he has a Black Industry list. He had the Gatsby one, like Dude Spam, Nis Hunters, plus a lot of Banes. I think that what they did the conclusion was like, he's gonna see that list. He's gonna drop Rask because of Black Industry. So you're gonna drop Gatsby 1 and you're gonna kill him, which would probably happen because they hit pretty hard, and I don't have like that good chaff clearing. And I was like,
I'm fine into Black Industries.
Yeah, fine-ish. So I was like, I'm just gonna win the slam jog into it, and he dropped Gatsby 1, and he had a really bad time. Yep. He also played like his Deathjack super defensively. It was basically hanging back in a trench in his own zone. The scenario was Mirage as well, so I just snowballed that to victory basically.
Yeah, I mean infantry spam into Jaga is...
Yeah, especially when you keep Gatsby back and you keep the Deathjack back, because they can actually press pretty far forward. I think he just gave my list way too much respect for that. So we ended up winning that round 4-1. We're on to the next round, and we're going up against Canada Moose. And I'm left...
Oh, Canada.
Yeah. Super sweet guys. I actually ended up getting picked, I think, last or second to last. It was an Anamag Fianna 2 pairing. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to drop Rask and see what happens. And he drops...
Were they both in Primal Terrors?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
No, wait.
You should know which one Fianna was.
It didn't have any Hellmouths, and Raptors, so probably Ravens?
Did it have 3 character beasts? All of which had flight?
So basically...
And looked like Nephilim?
The list was basically like ambushing flying monkeys, raptors, Naraths. That's it. Like stealth solos.
Whoa!
Sniper bow guy.
This is different.
Yeah. And we were playing in the invasion scenario. So what happened is like we were playing pretty cagey, both of us, but I think like during the third round I reckon I could get a snake to Fianna on her feet turn with 3 camp. So I started like filling around. It's like, yeah, okay, I got the landing, I got a landing zone, I got everything. I mean, she's at defense 18, and
you gotta hit that first one.
Yeah, and camping 3, and I can't really boost the first one, and of course dodge. So I'm like, okay, if I do all the moves, I need to hit 10 on 3 dice, and then I'm pretty much, because she's gonna hitting her for like dice plus 7 or 6 or 7 or something.
Eilish or a pot in that list?
I did not. So no rerolls.
Unfortunate.
So basically, like, it was sort of a difficult knot to untangle because I had jammed up pretty hard on the feet. So the snake's path was blocked by one of the striders, which also had in the list. And I could easily remove it, except they're blast immune from her spell, Iron Flesh. So what ended up happening is that Rask shot off the Iron Flesh from another strider, which needed like, I think, a 10 or something. Yeah, a 10, because they're 18 on the feet, and he's got Rat 8 with the Mist Speaker. And then Rorsch went up, bombed away the little guy, and then he's moved out of the way. I go in with the snake, I like do all the moves, and first attack I hit my 10, and I'm like, this is pretty sweet. So just keep on attacking, and when the last triumph is gone, I have one more buy, and I was like, okay, anything but triple snake, by triple ones. Of course, triple ones. Wah wah. So yeah, that happened. And I think I still could have won the game if I had been a little more cool, because he took 1 point, I took 1 point, and then basically I timed during like the 6th round or something. If I just had thought about it, I could just have kept on switching the clock, because I think I was up on attrition. So I could probably have taken that on that tiebreaker. If he wanted to go for the tiebreaker himself, he would have used some time, and then he might have clocked himself. So I don't know. Still, it was a good game, great opponent, and we ended up getting swept at round 0-5, which is sad, because we could have easily gotten that round for like a 4-1. So it was that close in so many games.
It sucks that it kind of fell on that side for you, but it's great that it was that close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel that's like more in Mark 3 in Mark 3 right now. Like, you don't have, when we did the matchup document, we didn't feel that we had as many like binary matchups that we used to do in Mark 2. And this is like, yeah, this is probably like a 3, this is maybe a 4 for me, depending on scenario, depending on table. So
and that's people like to kind of criticize the game, but that's a positive thing, that it's kind of moving towards the center.
I can see both. I think it doesn't probably promote player skill as much as it used to do, but on the other hand, it's probably more fun, because you get more variance as well. It's not stagnant, at least.
That is true.
And you still have to put in a lot of grind to actually get good at the matchups, especially since time is pretty tight now. I feel that maybe 1 hour death clock is maybe too short these days. Maybe.
Dude, I am not going past 1 hour death clock.
No. You can't.
I don't got time for that shit.
Because of logistics, you can't add. Like, if you add 5 minutes to each player's death clock, that's 10 minutes per round. If you have like a.
I know what you're saying about the death clock, particularly with my games with Jaga Jaga, because you're just doing so much math on every single dice roll.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, moving on. Last round of the day, because we did 3 rounds on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. We went up against a French team, and I got paired against Signar, which was Siege 1 and I think Haley 2, but he ended up dropping Siege. This one was Recon 2, so basically you have the 2 rectangle zones on both sides with the flags and then the objectives. And he did have +1, but I won the starting rule anyway, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go. And just put most stuff outside of his threat. He did get to shoot, I think, a wrestler with Triumph. Like, big shot, did some damage. And then basically I feated with Rask, pushed up super hard, put Dahlia on one flag, on my own flag, together with the snake on the other side, and was just gonna aim for pretty hard scenario blitz to get a snowballing scenario. And yeah, it turns out the Siege gun mage theme isn't that great into Rask's feet. He got off his feet, ground pounded, I think the battle board, the spitter, and something else. Went in with gun mages on the wrestler that was on the edge of his zone, and did some damage, but not a whole lot. And he just realized that he can't really do anything. He didn't contest Dahlia's flag, so I scored 1 on the end of his turn, and then I just scored 1 more on that flag and took his zone, his flag, and his objective for the last 3 points.
That's pretty mean.
It's pretty mean, but I was happy about it. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about the matchup because I think that he should probably get the first turn, and I don't really like how the game goes on if that happens. Because he's gonna,
Okay.
I mean, because I can't really reach him properly the first turn, so I think I have to feat the bottom of one, and I'm not sure how hard I can blitz scenario after that. The answer
I
is
feel like if you feet bottom of one, he just backs up a little bit.
yeah,
And waits you out.
yeah, and that's the thing. So I would have to like commit pretty much as hard, then you just move out of like most of my threat ranges. I mean, I don't think that matchup is fantastic, but it's playable. I think you have to focus on scenario because he's just gonna shoot everything to bits on his feet.
It's interesting how much matters on the dice roll to go first.
Yeah.
Particularly when you have these time walk feats like Rask.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's probably one of the weaknesses in Mark III right now, that the starting role is super important.
I'd say that's fair.
Yeah.
I wish we had a way of getting a bonus to it.
Yep,
So
for
I believe
sure.
Crucible Guard can get a +2, if that's right.
Crucible Guard and I think Signar.
I mean, that goes without saying
yeah.
because Signar.
Yeah.
Man, come on.
I mean, any list that can actually get a +2 on the starting role from a theme and can also bring Anastasia can get a +2.
Yeah, I think that's how Crucible Guard does it. Or, yeah, I think that's how they do it. Dirty bastards.
Yeah. But
So then you had a nice sleep and you got
yeah.
up Sunday refreshed?
Well, I mean, the team ended up losing 2-3, which was sad because I felt that we should absolutely have had that round as well, like 4-1 or something. But it turns out that our troll player, who was matched into minions, we went over the like matchup and it was like he had Colgrimma, and I was like, yeah, I should probably be able to take both Maelocking and his Jugglist with Colgrimma. He was like, yeah, sure, absolutely. And I finished up my game pretty quick, but he's already done. And then he's like, comes out to me and is like, Richard, do you know that the Pact has a spell called Spectral Lash? I was like, yes, I am highly aware of the fact that the Pact has Spectral Lash. He was like, I did not, and I didn't put Owl's Wisdom on Colgrimma, so she got Spectral Lashed, and then the rest got to her. I was like, well...
I mean, in some fairness to him, you do have to jump through a lot of hoops for Owl's Wisdom.
Yeah, I mean, you have to say Owl's Wisdom and paste a token beside Colgrimma.
Mm-hmm.
Or be behind a linear obstacle or something.
And my heart kind of goes out to him because I've flossed on dumb things like that.
Yeah. I mean...
And then you just get to watch it and you're just like, oh God.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so to his in mitigation, yeah, he was... in every game after that, I saw the little Owl's Wisdom token beside Colgrimma after that, so...
Poor guy.
Yeah, so we sadly ended up the first day 1 and 2, and I think that we should have at least been 2 and 1. But went to sleep, didn't drink that much, and Sunday, first game was Jaga into Gaston Cross 2.
Woo!
He was playing Magnus and Cross, and I was like, I don't really want to spend my like early Sunday grinding Rask into Magnus, so I'm just gonna drop Jaga, and I can probably outshoot Magnus, which I think he should drop, but then he dropped Cross, which is a bit more problematic because he has of course the Incinerators, which are fire immune, they have shield wall, and his +3 armor spell. So you're looking at a unit with armor 24, I think they go to. I think they have base 17. So shield wall 21, armor 24, fire immune.
I'm trying to think of how I'd try to handle that.
Yeah, actually, you can do that because I think this is
I'm
an
gonna have to do
interesting.
it. That's a tough one.
Yeah, so I thought about it as well, and I do have solutions in the Jagger lists. I think it like I have to go back to my old Maelocking days. If there's one thing that's problematic for you, kill everything else, and either try to win on scenario or go for the caster kill. And I think this is like what I tried to do for here. I tried to go for the left scenario zone in the championship belt scenario. The Croaks shot out a rover together with a Sacred Vault and a Spitter. What my idea was for handling the Incinerators was to try to get like corrosion on them so that actually we start ticking. The Totem Hunter shows them as prey, so if you can actually get to them in the back, they lose the Shield Guard bonus, which puts them at armor 20. Yeah, armor 20.
Yes.
Which is basically like 3 damage or something. If he spikes a roll, he might even get it so like he kills one. and then the other guy loses his shield guard, and then he's like dice of 4 with the buckler in the back of the other guy, so that can also be some damage. I also have the spears which can walk up and just throw one guy out of shield wall, and as soon as they're out of shield wall, especially if they're knocked down, they can be killed because they lose 4 armor from going out of shield wall, and there's only 5 of them.
Did you look at all about like picking off a middle guy and then having the Sacrovault get a kill and then walking him behind?
Yeah, I mean, if you get them into Sacrovault kill range, then that's fantastic. So I mean, there's some option, but primarily I wanted to just cut off one zone and try to grind it out. What ended up happening was that Jaga got shot by Gaston, like third turn or something. Oops.
Did he get all 4 shots?
Yeah. He got everything. I could have easily avoided it by asking him, okay, what's Gaston's actual threat range, and placing it outside of that instead of going into like, I think I want concealment on one camp.
That's awkward.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I've actually looked at him, playing him just because I'm Gaston and he's Gaston, and
yeah,
it's maybe the one time I root against you.
I think it's cute that you say this one time.
I have no idea what you're talking about. No idea what you're talking about.
Surely not.
I never root against you, buddy.
Anyway, so that was some Sunday morning machine, just like some unnecessarily sloppy play. Fortunately, we didn't end up costing the team the win. We went 3-2. No, actually 4-1. I was the only guy who lost the game. It was against Finland, so it was actually super duper important as well.
What, is there some sort of rivalry between you all?
Extremely hard rivalry.
Is it because everyone thinks that you're in Finland?
Nobody thinks that.
Or Australian?
No, basically we have this brotherly love. Whenever there's like Finland against Sweden, especially in hockey games, it's super serious, and it's sort of carried on to other games as well.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So team is now at least 2-2, and the 5th round we go up against Italy. I get to play against a troll player, Magic 1, and I drop Rask into it. It's the standoff scenario, so you have the 2 rectangle zones, like one near you and one near the enemy, with the objectives in and the circle zones on the side. I just commit Snake Pit early. I try to kill off some champions because the fan blades are kind of melting to shooting other stuff. And he makes his first 2 tough checks on the trolls on Snake, which is never fun. I just kill 2 more and I feel like, okay, this game is like, it's, I think, sort of uphill probably for Rask. I think it just comes down to like... I'd
say it's uphill for Rask, yeah.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to how good the trolls are at making tough checks and how much you can deliver at one time. But Dahlia is at least contesting his own. I score 1, and he fails to kill the snake with, I think, like 5 champions or something. I mean, he rolled incredibly cold. He had to put Mire'd up there himself to just finish the snake.
Wow.
And then there was this like big, large-based gap in front of Mire'd, and like Rask, I checked like, okay, Rask can shoot him, went up, got his paralysis bolt, and now we have a paralyzed Mire'd with, I think, like 2 camp and his scroll, and within Ghost Pig range. But just to add insult to injury, I was like, okay, shoot him with Rask, paralysis, boost damage, okay, it's dice of 7, take 9 damage, here you go, mister. Brown goes up, boost a hit, shoot, does like a little bit of damage, Speeder goes, shoot, boost a hit, boost damage, take 9 more damage, and then the pig goes in.
I mean, that's smart play. Can't really...
No, I mean, I was going for it, and I was like, you have to use every attack.
I'm kind of surprised you didn't drop Jaga into that.
I don't remember his second list, but I don't think I felt good about Jaga against that.
Because I do feel Jaga can handle Magic 1 fairly well.
Yeah, I think I should probably explore that avenue more, because he doesn't like guns that much.
Well, the one time I was gave me pause is if you look at what Tim Benke was running for a little bit, he had a couple bombers in there, and that actually gave me a lot of pause with Jaga into Magic.
Yeah, I think he was just running like an Earthborn or a Mauler or something. Like, no, at least not a bomber.
Okay, like locally I've seen him a bunch with a Mountain King, which doesn't particularly scare Jaga, but like bombers, Unearthborn would be a problem, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, Earthborn is a huge issue if you're basing your output on fire and corrosion.
Kind of like the incinerators.
Yeah, been there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the team ended up winning. No, we actually lost that round as well. So we're 2-3 now going into the last game. This was also like one of the other games that I think that we could easily have had. We lost 2-3. So like not a lot of happy faces, but we were like, okay, let's
finish strong.
Yeah, finish strong.
Swedish strong.
Swedish strong.
strong.
We went into a Russian team, and I got to play against Cowboy Jerry, super sweet guy. And he was
Russian guy named Cowboy Jerry.
I mean, that was his nickname. He was like Yegor something. I don't remember it by heart, and I certainly can't pronounce it anyway. But I don't remember what his second list was, but it was a primal, not primal, Black Industries list, and something else. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna drop Jaga into this, and he dropped Scavers, which was the Black Industries list, which was pretty sweet. It had Deathjack, unit of Crows, of course, and like one unit of Overlords, Cephalix Overlords, and some other heavies. And like again, this list poses like one pretty big issue, because if he puts the armor spell on Deathjack, I don't remember what it's called. It's the same as Scar has.
It's Feast of Worms is the debuff.
Yeah, it gives you +2 armor, and you can select where the damage goes.
It's not Infernal Machine.
No, it's an armor buff, and basically like base 19 goes to 21, goes to 25 against shooting with Carapace, which is basically untouchable for Jaga in a meaningful way, especially when he can spread damage around. So the scenario was spread net, so I reckon like if he just pushes Deathjack around, I can try to kill everything else and try to win a scenario, or just by killing Scavers. And we didn't have to go for a very long game, because I mispositioned my Croak a little bit, so he went for the Feast of Worms to kill, like I think killed 6 of them with one blast, and he got a lot of souls, but he was standing empty on no camp within range of a Sacred Vault, a Speeder, and like 3 Croaks, and 1 running husk.
Yep, that'll do it. Did you feed on him too?
Oh yeah, of course. Like, so I think the last 2 focus he used was to TK my husk around so he wouldn't charge Jack or something. I was like, that's fine. Run husk, get Jaga into range, like boosted 16 size importance into armor 17. Does like quite a lot of damage. I think the Sacred Vault missed 1 shot, hit like the 2 others, and then the Speeder just finished it. And I did have some Croaks in backup.
And then how did your team finish?
We won that last game, so we went 3-3, and I went 4-2 personally, which is fine. Like I
Swedish strong.
It's okay-ish. I would have been more happy with like a 4-2 finish, which I absolutely think we had in us, but dice happen.
So one of the things I wanted to kind of pick on you about was the last time we talked, I have Wrastler and Double Bone Swarms, and you've got the Spitter battle group.
Mm-hmm.
You've been talking about having problems with Deathjack. You've been talking about having problems with the Incinerators. Now, after this is all said and done, how do you feel about those 2 battle groups compared to each other?
I would still go with no Wrastler, for sure. I mean, you just have to get creative on how you deal with a problem.
Okay, so you're still wrong.
I mean, verified.
Verified?
Yeah.
You verified you had problems.
Yeah. Oh, I can actually mention, because we finished the game so quick, he asked for a rematch, so we just re-racked and started playing again. He did not put the armor buff spell on Deathjack this time around. Camping like more safe with Scavers. It came down to me greeding a little bit, not getting 5 souls on the Sacred Vault and only having 4. So we actually got like an assassination attempt off on Jaga, and left her on I think $2 or something, or maybe I made a tough roll before I killed Scavers again. But I mean, it turned out pretty much the same way. Like I pressured the scenario much harder than he did, and he could. I mean, he still had to respect the Speeders with Deathjack.
Right.
It became sort of a threat range dance anyway, and my scenario presence was much stronger, so he had to, like, I think go for the caster kill eventually.
So I mean, that sounds like a pretty good game.
Yeah, it was.
Times.
I mean, it's interesting for sure, and I could see Scabrous becoming maybe more prevalent because he's super fun and has a lot of tricks. Maybe just getting the list together is a problem. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I know at the Nova Open, people were talking up Scabrous as well, actually.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's one of those ones who's kind of like just around the corner in the meta.
I mean, TK and Crows are pretty good.
True. Especially they have like reposition 5, don't they?
Yes, like stealth.
They're ridiculously
I think
fast.
they have speed 6, range 10, repo 5. It's like, okay. And if you get Feast of Worms and Backstrike, how much it's like? It goes to 12.
Boosted 12s?
Yeah.
I think that sounds right.
I think I had a buddy of mine when we started playing Mark 3. He put a Stalker on Ayakos because he has some sort of like, doesn't he have Dark Shroud in some way?
I'd have to go look. I don't recall.
Yeah, I think he got it to like an insane amount of power with just like a marshaled little guy, and he could still shoot into melee afterwards with Backstrike.
Yeah, he could, because it's only +2 with the back.
Yeah.
And then you're boosted, so you're still up 1.5.
Yeah. So yeah, some interesting stuff. Anyway, going forward, I've been thinking about like, do I want to change up my pairing, and I'm starting to look at Mortality again, because it seems to have a lot of value in the meta right now. You have like the Trollking Champions, you have the Chosen, you have the Scorn Cats, the Tharn are looking at getting healing as well. So I kind of feel that I want to have less grinding games and just being able to kill shit. But I don't want to go with the Posse spam, so I'm gonna try Maelocking in like a gunline style. So I basically take my Jagger list and just swap out for Maelocking and do some stuff with the Feet Fodder, which in my case will be Croak Hunters, I think, because we have a little Croak month, and I don't think they're that bad in the dojo. They have a good scenario presence, they have poison against the living stuff, quick work, which is also a good combo with mortality. They can repo, so they can easily proc gang for the next body that goes in.
I remain pretty unconvinced.
I'm not 100% sold on the idea, but I'm gonna try it out and see what happens.
I mean, I like that they're cheaper, but they have, I feel like, very, very similar output to a Croak Raider.
Sure, but you also have the advantage that they are not corrosion damage type. They have poison, so you can actually deal with the Earthborn in that list.
With 3 shots, yeah.
I mean, I think you mortality him and charge in. It's like power 14, double weapon master, or weapon master rather.
Do they have poison in melee too?
Yes.
Possibly then, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, you should do like 8 damage per Croak, and it's mortality, so if they remove one aspect, it's like womp. And they can just repo, I mean, they can reap around, so if the Earthborn moves, it has to take a free strike from like multiple Croaks, and that's probably a sad Earthborn. It's super theory dojo, but it's fun to try. I need some palette cleansers after WTC, just try some goofy stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, you should totally always be trying. I still think that you need to poke around with the Dracodile.
Yeah.
The thing is you're talking about Chosen, you're talking about Champions, you're talking about Meowcadas. It's got a blind spray. Like, I know I say crazy things, but I wasn't crazy about the Meat Thresher, and maybe we're not being crazy about the Dracodile, particularly when you're trying to leverage it to control high-value infantry.
But it's like 8 points more than 2 speed is right.
What are they, 28 to 36? Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. So
yeah, no, it's really expensive.
I mean, sure, as long as I'm trying, so yeah, I might. Maybe that's my goal for this year. Like, before the end of the year, I actually try the Dracodile in one list.
To anybody listening, whenever Rickard tells me he might try something, it's actually no.
Truth.
I've been doing this too long.
Yeah, you know me too well.
He's broken my heart too many times.
So I mean, I think that's like my my thoughts from WTC, like pretty quick and dirty.
Without using mortality, how do Croak Hunters match up into Hellmouth?
Oh, I mean, even with mortality, I don't think it's that good. Hellmouth is a problem that I have not been able to solve well.
Yeah, that's.
Like, so Hellmouth is something that you need to, like, stick mortality on preferably. I think shooting it is better. Maybe the answer is just to ignore it, see what happens, because at least they can't drag the second vault around.
Yeah, that's true. They pop up those stupid tentacles in the most annoying spots.
I mean, they are toxic as fuck, if you ask me.
Okay, because I'm always on the lookout for something mathematically that works, and I was like, oh, maybe if Croak hunters can do that, then. But I mean, if they can't cost effectively work on Hellmouths, then I'm even back to being more down on them.
I'm not sure if there's like any replacement that could actually do that. One thing you could do is you could do Maelocking double in the Willwork for Food instead, and just have like basically the same spitter second vault loadout. You could have Roshan Brine with a splatter bore, pretty sweet, and then you could just trade Brine for one Hellmouth early, just to have it out of the way, and then you try to use the guns to just deal with the rest of the list.
Well, and you can always try to do something like Sui back if you can pull that off.
I don't think you can with Maelok. I mean, you would have to put the pig within 6 inches of the Hellmouth. I don't know if that's like a happy thing. Actually 7 because it's not undead. Never mind. Hop.
Do we have any strength buffs that we can put on Croak hunters? No.
I mean, Fury from Rask.
That's not great.
No.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to deal with them, I think you put Fury on a Total Hunter instead. So it's like PS21.
Yeah, they're much better targets.
Yeah.
I was just kind of looking because it's got since it's a thrown weapon, any strength buffs.
Yeah.
If we don't have an efficient way of doing that, then and certainly Fury is not.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Strength buff, actual strength buff. No, I don't think so. So it's going to be a work in progress. At least it's pretty fun to be back in the grind again, getting out some more games.
But it's nice to have like new ideas and get to try out new things now that you're not like actually working towards something that's got you locked in.
Yep.
Well, and then we wanted to also go through just some of the general stats from the other players' teams and, judge them.
Yes.
Because that's the kind of people we are.
Judge them harshly.
So the one who will probably escape any harsh judgment is David Potts.
Yes.
On Team Flaming Gala. He was the winning Minions player. Proof that Minions are the #1 faction.
Yes.
And I will say, it is worth noting that his pairing was Rask and Maelok, and it was Rask all day long.
Yeah, I want to add to the protocol, Maelok with min units. Need to get it out there.
I'd like to add to the protocol that he never used it. So
no.
They didn't really do anything.
No, but still.
In some defensive Maelok, it doesn't look like he really had good Maelok matchups. Realistically, playing against Axis twice, Dracoff, Kogrima, Madrak, and Resnick.
Yeah.
2. So I see the logic behind dropping Rask into all those.
Yeah.
The one that I did highlight that was interesting is he had one game that he won against Axis and one game he lost. And I was kind of curious because Axis is definitely a staple for Convergence.
For sure.
I was looking deeper into the games. I'm like, did one of them he go first, one of them he go second? Was that kind of the differentiator between the two of them? But just don't have that sort of insight into those games.
Yeah, I think Axis is never trivial to play against. Rask has some game through Admonition and especially in live and against the Taps, but it is just fuck up a counter charge something and lose the game. And Axis's feat is super strong.
Yes, and you got to get him to feet first.
Yeah, or I mean you get a super good alpha, so you don't get a crippled army on his feet. So yeah. Absolutely not a trivial matchup in any way.
Moving down to Austria Dandy. Looks like Eric is proving that Jaga is solid into trolls. Taking down Madrak and Jarl.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more concerned about the Legion. He played her into Animag twice and lost. And Animag is just... I haven't tried it, but with the Chosen scare me.
Yeah. I just need to... What did he use for Feet Fodder?
He didn't really have Feet Fodder. He actually ran her in Woolwork for food with 2 Wrestlers, 3 Horrors, Speaker, Scouts, Eilish, Long Chops, Chef, Valkyries, and Bellows Crew.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Jeff definitely kind of leaning on the Swamp Horrors with Signs Importance to carry the day there.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be interesting to try to figure out what he wanted to drop it into, because he does lack some solar removal, I think, unless you count the scouts?
I mean, the scouts for Signs Importance is something I've always been kind of intrigued on, but I've never tried myself. Because you basically have to commit to them being your free solos. They're so damn expensive.
I mean, if he really needs to have like one solar mode, he can just run one scout super deep and pop it with the feet.
Yeah, I mean, a POW 14.
Yeah.
So.
Same with long chops.
Yeah, and I've feated on long chops before. I'm like, screw you, dude. Yeah. Bye-bye, Gator. Because I think he's armor 16, if memory serves correctly.
Yes, like I think pretty much all Gators are.
So that's a solid feat target.
But that's actually something I've come to realize with Jaga. It's like you don't really get a super impressive, fully boosted feat bombing all the time. Usually you are casting Signs Important, you have 3 fewer left, so you're at the most getting 3 boosts unless you have the Boon Shrine. And I mean, you usually get, if you're using bug trucks, you get like maybe 2 power 14 boosted.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing that I've also found is that oftentimes she doesn't need it.
Yeah.
To boost it.
Yeah. Or
she. Power 14 Signs Important is.
Signs and Putin. Yeah.
Here's a Russia joke for you.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I mean, something I could actually also try is instead of using the bug trucks, which are good for getting souls mostly on the second vault and some feet bombing, just switching out for like 3 Gatormen. Min pass instead. To have like
10 points.
Yeah, I guess 9 points.
More durable. No, min pass is 10 points.
Yeah, but the bug truck unit I use is 9 points. Min plus void leech. Make it exactly 60 points.
That'd be intriguing because you're definitely trading up at that point. And I mean, it boosted, what's the Hellmouth, 18 or 20? I guess it varies.
I would say it's 20 usually against Primal Terrors. 22 if they really want to.
So then you're off 4. The boosts cancel out. So signs. Yeah. I have to think about that one. That's an interesting idea.
You could also add husks to the protocol against Hellmouth, because if they pull in a husk and it pops and they end their activation, they get 1 point.
That's true. Let's see. Moving on to Brett Fogel representing USA. Go USA. He was almost the exact opposite of Potts, actually. He dropped Maelocking every round, except for one time he dropped Arcadius. The one that did leap out to me is he had dropped Maelocking to Xerxes 2. I've actually played that matchup with Arcadius and thought Arcadius was very comfortable into that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would need to go look at lists. I don't know what he was playing.
I think the Xerxes 2 was usually Drake spam at the WTC.
But I mean, I think with Xerxes 2, it's just he can't hide from Arcadius. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for sure.
He's just this huge base, and you can like always get to him and always grief him and push him around.
Yeah. I mean, Arcadius should have that, I think.
Xerxes 2 with Drake spam. Go figure.
Yeah.
A couple Archidons, a couple Siege Animantorexes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm actually kind of confused about Maelocking to that one.
Maybe he
Arcadius can pick out the Animantorexes.
Maybe he was afraid of the Ferox on Makeda's side.
Oh, you think it's a lossless chicken?
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that.
Because the other list is Makeda to Massive War with double Ferox. And I think that Arcadius would have a bad time into that.
So he felt pressured into dropping Maelocking, and then the dude just picked the other one. Okay. That makes sense. See how much looking at the lists helps.
Yes.
Let's see. We've got Fabienne from France, just proving more that Jaga Jaga crushes trolls.
Especially Cold Grima when she doesn't put False Wisdom on herself.
Yeah, he's got 2 wins against Cold Grima too. So
yeah.
Suck it, owls.
Stupid birds.
And he's got the Jaga Jaga beaten down Dreamer too, which I've done. It's very possible, and it's also tricky. So very good job there.
Yeah, I don't. That's also like something that puzzles me. It's like the Dreamer, I think, should have way too much armor. Actually, what's his Jaga list? Is it also like a beast heavy Jaga list?
It was Jaga Jaga, Wrestler, Snapper, Spitter, Soul Slave, Speaker, Feral Geist, Quack and Gub, Chef, Boilmaster, 2 units of Croak Raiders, Boker and Shamblers, and a Sacro Vault.
I just feel that shouldn't have enough punch to take down Dreamer list.
You can shoot him down. I've done it. It's one of the tricks is picking out the death knell quickly, because at that point that drops their armor low enough that the Croaks can take out the skinny bones.
But can't you just bring the like stealth arcana and have like a crabbit next to the death knell?
You can.
Yeah.
One of the things I've done is I've actually ran in and feeded on the crabbits to kill them all, and then if they don't pop it, then and if they did pop it, then you just back up.
I'm not convinced.
I didn't say it was easy. I said it was tricky. It is. I moved away from Jaga Jaga into Grimkin because it was tricky, but it is very feasible.
It happened anyway, so.
Steve,
yeah.
See, you've got two people right here, 2 eyewitnesses. I've done it, and Fabian's done it. So.
Oh, I hate Mark 3.
Speaking of, yep, good timing. We get to Poland go west with Marcin Nowicki proving once and for all that the Meat Thresher went undefeated all WTC. 100% win rate with the Meat Thresher and Rask.
I'm so happy for you, Marcin. Yes. Sincerely.
Yes. Oh, so good. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
It's even better because of Rickard's pain.
Yeah, I remember one time during Mark 2 when the game made sense.
It makes sense now. You just got to get on the Meat Thresher bandwagon.
Yeah, I guess I have to.
Oh my gosh, so good. And it was against what? Strakov, Animag, and the Dreamer.
Yeah. No, I mean I can absolutely see it into Animag. The Dreamer.
Strakov too, because that was a bunch of infantry.
Like the Dreamer, I also think because he didn't bring a Wrestling's list, I don't think that he should have enough output into Dreamer, with only the Fury swapping. But looking at the Dreamer list, it was against the same Canadian team that we met. He only had 4 heavies instead of 5, and I think he had like 6 lessers instead.
He had, I think, 4 heavies, 4 lights.
Oh, sorry, 4 lights, of course. Yeah.
And obviously, the Meat Thresher just demolishes the lights.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. It was 2 Cage Ragers, 2 Skin and Moans, 2 Gorehounds, 2 Rattlers, 2 Crabbits. It's like Noah's Ark. So, yes! Oh, so happy.
So happy?
Suey happy.
Anyway, I think it's safe to say that the Matter of Pact podcast has been a great trendsetter throughout of Mark 3 with mean units of Posse winning WTC, even though it didn't. I mean, it was so good it didn't have to get played. And then you have the Meat Thresher. I think that Martian was probably the best minion player. I mean, from a personal record standpoint.
He went 5-1. And I think you're correct.
No, wait, there's one other guy. Casey Hills from New Zealand also went 5-1,
right.
But on a team that won 2 individual team wins.
Yeah, he had Maelocking, and he had 100% win rate with Barnabas.
Yep.
2.
Barnabas 2.
Into a mirror match. That's painful.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I was so happy about the Meat Thresher. Like, yeah.
I'm happy that you're happy, Gaston, and I'll leave it at that.
Just going through the rankings. But one of the other ones that I wanted to hit on was Australia Gobbledong.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that's a typo. I'm going to hope that's a typo.
100% intended.
Who wrote this?
I don't know.
Yeah, right. You don't know. He was running Arcadius and Midas. And he's actually done full write-ups on all of his games on Lorma Hordes. You should definitely go check it out in the Minion section. And they're great write-ups. Obviously, he's been on the Arcadius Midas train for quite a while. And it's interesting how he came out of this actually talking about Commandos and Midas. And I'm really curious to see where he goes with that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I've run them with him before, but I generally take a main unit in ambush, and I think he's looking at using it more for advanced deploy and frontline combat.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, and otherwise, he's just like a freaking artist with Arcadius. So.
Yeah, I think he's got a ton of games under his belt right now with him.
I mean, I would not want to play against him with Arcadius.
Yeah, I never actually ran into him during WTC, so sadness, but it's a big event.
So you kind of avoided him?
No, I mean,
Ducker?
I was mostly drunk, I think.
So, and then we had some other just fantastic Minions players. From Denmark, Ulf. We had Sean Murchie from Scotland. Johan
Ljungström.
from, there you go, New Zealand. I can't even pronounce English words, so I apologize to everybody. Casey Hills from New Zealand, and then Christoph from Switzerland Dairy Products. I love the team names.
Yes, I think it's part of the WTC charm.
And then, of course, David Lindegren, who's alternate for Sweden Pippi.
Yeah, who didn't actually get to play, but
hey, his name is in there.
Yep, and I mean he got to play sweet Warmachine.
But thanks to everyone so much for representing the faction, for doing such an incredible job. One of the things I really wanted to point out is kind of a little meta analysis. Is, you talk about the different boogeymen in the meta, and this faction's OP and that faction's OP. Against Legion, who's currently like one of the scary ones. 9 games, 4-5 record. Trolls, another scary one. 15 games, 8-7 record. Croaks, the perennial one, 11 games, 6-5 record. Within each of these boogeymen, we were within 1 game of 50-50.
Yep.
And that's like 50-50 should be, balanced, quote unquote. So you all did fantastic.
Yeah. And I think it's fun to see that there is some pretty good variance within minions. I feel that a lot of factions have like one main list, like Axis or Kolgrimma, Animag, for example. And I think in minions it seems to be a little more open. I mean, some people are championing Maelocking, some go Arcadius, some go Rask. Jaga seems to be a popular pick, so I think there's some good variety going on right now, and I think it's still pretty open. I don't think we have settled on like a definite list pairing, and I don't think we will for some time to come.
You look at, like, I just kind of clicked on Legion of Everblight. Animag was 21 of their casters. The next one down was Thagrosh at 9. Or you look at minions, it's Maelocking 9, Jaga 7, Rask 6, and then 3-2-1 for the other ones, Arcadius, Barney, and Midas.
Yeah.
So it feels like they have not necessarily like a deeper bench than other factions, but a much tighter bench, and that more are getting played kind of more equally. Like for Protectorate, there's just Harbinger and High Reclaimer, and then a huge drop. Scorn aren't too bad. Xerxes and Reshef were tied, and then Zadesh and Morgul were in the kind of the next tier, and then a big drop.
Yeah.
So I think once we get pigs through CID, minions will actually be really well balanced internally.
Yep.
And when you're looking external, like looking at Legion, Trolls, and Croaks, they seem to be pretty damn well balanced externally too.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we get like the game to a level where every faction is basically Croaks minus Gaspy 3, like Industries.
Also, a shout out to Belgium for having the best team names.
Yeah. Actually, one of the teams, I think it was Sensual Chocolate, had a super sweet Dahlia pin-up on their team jersey.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I should actually have traded for one of those, but didn't happen.
I was going to Google that, and I realized what happened if I Google Belgium sensual chocolate, and I'm not going to Google that anymore.
Safe search on.
Yeah, I need some child protectors. All right, well, I'd say that's a cast. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.